what I will be discussing is my analysis of the science curriculum and textbook, which is the major subject that teaches climate change and environmental education. But this is also a part of a larger research that we are doing presently, which is developing curriculum for climate and sustainability education. We all know, especially educators will agree with me, developing any systematic strategy for curriculum innovation requires research in several areas. First of all, studying the efficacy of the existing curriculum and what are the pedagogical approaches that are followed in our classroom, and also what are the policies, curriculum policies. And we need to characterize the structure and uniqueness of the pedagogies that children experience in the present school classroom. Especially for a topic like climate change, we need to understand the community context, the socio-cultural context of learning, and also the regional specificities. Something that we need to consider more importantly is what are teachers' perspectives and views on evolving a new curriculum. And whatever we are teaching in school, we also need to consider the teacher professional development program. The quality of teacher professional development programs and the quality of the teachers are something very important indicator of the quality of an education system, also the quality of teaching learning that will happen in a classroom. So another important aspect whenever we are designing a curriculum is to understand the child. What is the nature of childhood? Whenever we are looking at children and their childhood, we take a lot of studies from the West. Any books on psychology you can examine. We teach Piaget, we teach Vygotsky, Brunner, several of the Western concepts. But we are thinking about a child who is growing in Kerala. That also has regional variation, different socio-cultural context. So we need to understand how children are learning in our classroom, what kind of scientific concepts they know, and how they understand concepts related to climate and environment. So this is the larger research project that we are presently doing. The field of study is government schools in Perumadura, which is a coastal village near Thiruvananthapuram district. I will not be going to the details of this because it is in a very preliminary stage, and I do not think it is fair to discuss the findings, any of our observations as findings, but rather what I will be focusing today in my presentation is my analysis of the present Kerala science curriculum and textbook, and I will be proposing a community-based curriculum for climate change and sustainability education. And most importantly, the role of school as a local institution for devising community-based climate adaptation strategies. We know whenever there is an environmental disaster, school is the first important institution that also respond to these disasters. So we need to prepare our teachers, we need to prepare our children, and also various members who associate with the schools to respond to any natural calamities. And I think for a context like Kerala, more than speaking about the emissions or fossil fuels, it is very important how communities can adapt to the kind of environmental issues that are happening. So I will be emphasizing on the role and agency of the teacher in a curriculum making, which is not considered in the present context of the Kerala curriculum making. We have a centralized curriculum. I will show that. And the importance of collaborative curriculum design. What I mean by collaborative curriculum design is teachers in collaboration with climate scientists, educational researchers, social scientists, community members, and also children participating in this process of curriculum design. And as Sajida already showed, the kind of climate of educational research of Kerala. So when we, a group of teachers, educational researchers, teacher trainers, when we all came together, what we hope and aspire to do was fostering a climate of curriculum research and pedagogic innovation for Kerala schools. So when I speak about curriculum analysis, first of all, we need to understand what is the element of a curriculum. A curriculum will have aims. What is the purpose of school education? What is it that we envision for our children? What kind of knowledge they need to understand in the present socio-political economic context? And so the subject matter that we need to include in the curriculum. And when we choose a subject matter, the way we teach science is different from the way we teach social science, which is different from the way we teach mathematics. So we need to consider the epistemology, the nature of the knowledge, and or the ontology, how subject, the methods of the discipline, so that we can sequence that for children. And also we need to understand the nature of the learner who is coming to our classroom. What is it that the child bring to our classroom? The language, the social background, the economic context, all of it we need to consider when we are designing a curriculum. And more importantly, what is the approach that we are taking to learning, pedagogy, and assessment. What I mean is, what is the developmental stage of the child? What is the age of the child? What is the specific manner in which children understand a concept, and also what kind of curriculum resources that we are going to design. Is it that textbook is the only curriculum resource we will consider when we are designing something for climate change, or any other curriculum resources we can consider? What are the potentially important curriculum resources that we can use to teach a concept like climate change? So for my analysis, I have mainly taken the Kerala Curriculum Framework 2007 and 2023. 2023 is a draft curriculum, and also the SCRT textbook that was published in 2019, which is presently in use. But we have teachers and several people who is writing the new textbook, which will be coming in the next academic year. Also, I looked at the teacher handbooks, and I used the method of documental analysis, which is more qualitative in nature. So you will not be seeing big tables like the way Sajida presented her. So first we will look environmental education in different levels of Kerala school education. When we look at the aims of environmental education, which is mentioned in KCF 2007, also 2023, so it will present it as children knowing the environment, basically awareness on environment and environmental literacy. Basically, the fundamental assumption is that environmental problems are structurally anchored in society and our ways of living. For this reason, it is necessary to find solutions to these problems through changes at both societal and at the individual level. And that is where the aim of environmental education is to make children capable of acting on a societal level as well as the personal level. So protecting the environment, preserving and sensitizing through education comes as the main aim of environmental education. Also, the education for sustainable development, the sustainable development goals also found its place in the curriculum, and also Article 51A, nurturing and protecting environment as a fundamental duty of every citizen. So when we characterize the curriculum, it is a centralized curriculum. I think if I will leave it also for discussion when I am making this important claim that curriculum was devised at the state headquarters by a team of experts and disseminated to schools through directives, guidelines, and especially teacher handbooks. When the curriculum determined the content of what is to be taught, the teacher handbook decided it determined how it is to be taught. Also, when we look at environmental education, it is kind of a transformative environmental education, education for addressing environmental issues, and also behavior modification, and also moralizing, like there should be less consumption of resources, conserving energy, sorting waste, preserving. Sometimes when we read the textbook, I think we are also handing over the responsibility to children to transform the society. Also, when we look at school textbooks or popular messages, we see distressing messages relating to the climate and ecological crisis being disseminated. Children are becoming aware of the current and future threats associated with climate change. We all of us sing the song, "Ini varunnoru thalamuraikku ivide vasam sadhyamo." When we are telling this to the fourth grade child or a third grade child, we should ask what kind of emotion that invokes in the child, the kind of the future that is awaiting the child through the song. We are passing this message to our children. So the looming specter of environmental disaster is taking a toll on students' mental health. This is also something that is noted in the West, which is termed as climate anxiety or eco-anxiety. So we need to think whether creating this eco-anxiety and worry in children is a wise or a useful act. Coming to the content of what is it that we are teaching in environmental education from primary to high school. So in grade 1, it is a part of environmental education, is a part of language textbook, Malayalam, or the Kerala Padavali. We have Ramesh sir and so many experts here who also participated in the curriculum design process. So an integrated approach to the teaching of environment is adopted in grade 1 and 2. And also there are so many stories, songs, pictures, and activities which are related to birds, animals, flowers, and insects. You can also see the textbook asking children to draw rain. And I don't know whether I really want to see how children will be drawing the rain. Sajeev is here. He will say maybe in his session, what is it that he does to teach rain to children. This is something that very textbook kind of a very schooled activity, when rain is something so real for children in Kerala. So another important thing is children learning about ants through poems, and there are several such. I'm not focusing much on grade 1 and 2, rather coming to grade 3 and grade 4, environmental studies, which is Parisara Padanam, become a different subject. We can see there are 6 units on environment in grade 3 textbook, and it is an integrated textbook again that has health and social studies. You can see it is also again on trees, organisms around us. So basically the textbook is focusing on imparting awareness about the immediate surrounding of the child: trees and plants, birds, animals, air, soil, also the interdependence of living and non-living things. Emphasis is also laid on the need to organize learning experiences on local environment of the child, which the curriculum thinks will provide a meaningful experience. So in grade 4 also it is environmental science, but we will see the concepts of fundamental science started appearing in grade 4 textbook as states of matter, the sky, and also social studies. So when it comes to middle school, the approach is to introduce the fundamental concepts of science and their manifestation in nature and in daily life. You will see more basic science coming in as plants, water, seeds, parts of a flower, ecosystem, cell. All of these topics start appearing in middle school. It is emphasis is also basically the elementary concepts, principles, and ideas of science were introduced through activities, experiments, analysis on issues surrounding the environment, agriculture, mainly through activities and tasks. So we need to research whether how this is being really done in a classroom. So teachers curriculum also recommends to link the topics to child's everyday life. Okay, so what we can see when it comes to high school is the first part is chemistry, physics, and biology. The later part is geography. Basically, what you can see is in high school, a disciplinary approach to the teaching learning of science in terms of physics, chemistry, and biology are adopted, and it is more subject-oriented themes. What is to be noted in the science curriculum is there is a distinctive absence of environmental sciences, but in geography it finds some place. The abstract concepts, theories, laws, and principles of physics, chemistry, and biology are introduced in the high school, and you can also see the complexity of the concepts that comes in high school. On the whole, we can also observe a distinctive transition in content, the way content is introduced in high school, and also the overall pedagogic approach. When the primary and upper primary suggest activity-oriented constructivist curriculum, in high school it is moving towards formal and conventional science, also a conventional way of teaching, which I call a behaviorist way of teaching. So teachers are here, even in my own observation, in my own study with children, we can see this transition is a great difficulty for children when they come to high school. So now what is more important is to look at what is the approach to pedagogy and learning. Curriculum drew on the constructivist ideas of learning and recommended an activity-based, learner-centered approach. I think, but what I want to characterize, I will come to, it is a constructivism, social constructivism, critical pedagogy, all of this is recommended in the curriculum. But when we come to the real textbooks, classroom processes, we can see the predominance of textbook in the curricular culture. So how I characterize it is the enacted curriculum, or what really happens in the classroom is a textbook curriculum, because textbook provide the framework for what is to be taught, how it is to be taught, and in what sequence it has to be taught. It directs the flow of teaching of the content, discussion between the students and teachers, activities, experiments, problem solving. If you examine the textbook, it will have all the aspects that a teacher needs to do in the classroom. First of all, we need to ask the autonomy of the teacher in selecting the teaching learning experience. Textbook also determine the mode in which children are expected to learn. Reading the textbook itself may be central to learning and constitute one of the most important uses. Here on the right side, that picture why I put it is, that is saying you go and plant trees outside and observe the trees around. But if it is just discussed in the classroom, if teacher just name it in the classroom, it will result in decontextualized nature of learning. So another one important aspect of our research is to do classroom observation to characterize how this is being taught in the classroom. Despite the curriculum recommends a constructivist pedagogy, you can see what is the kind of assessment that is followed, which is again a very conventional way of assessing using multiple questions, and it's an examination oriented or an outcome based. Outcome based is very clear in the textbook itself, because textbook is asking for a learning outcome. So it's I characterize it as an outcome based or a performance based curriculum, not a constructivist curriculum. So still the didactic teaching methods are followed. The 45 minutes timetabling of a school day constrains the opportunity for children for exploration and reflection. Also, we will see the lack of interrelatedness of concepts from primary to upper primary to the high school. Energy might have treated in upper primary, but it may not be discussed in great detail in high school. Another thing, as I said, if it is a textbook oriented curriculum, it also shows the decontextualized nature of learning. Basically, what I want to argue is, despite the curriculum says it is a constructivist curriculum, when we analyze the textbook, there is no evidence for constructivist principles of learning with regard to the design of the textbook or pedagogy. It didn't take account or apply the basic premise of the constructivist theory that teaching and learning should start with what all learners already know and guide them to higher order thinking and concepts of a discipline. Also, textbook discuss the bringing of the local resources to the classroom, but there is a larger question of situating learning in an authentic context as per the social constructivist theory. Such situatedness of learning, collaborative learning, peer group interaction, teacher-student interaction, designing instruction based on child's prior knowledge, which all are essential characteristic of a constructivist pedagogy, is significantly absent in Kerala curriculum. So I think I will come to the important part: how to design a curriculum for climate change and sustainability. Climate change is not a standalone topic. It should be an integrated approach, and I recommend a localized approach to curriculum. For this, we need to empower the teacher professional development program and strengthening the teacher to design the curriculum. In primary and upper primary, we can follow a nature-based learning, which is an educational approach that utilize natural world as a resource for learning, and also for the socio-emotional and cognitive development of the child. The place of nature in education and as a pedagogic context is already shown in the educational models proposed by Montessori, Froebel, John Dewey, Tagore, etc. And when it comes to high school, we discussed about the climate anxiety. We may need to follow an authentic inquiry approach, which is a pedagogical approach that can be used by teachers and students to solve problems in science or that related to their environment, to arrive at learning. In an authentic inquiry context, children will be exploring a problem like how a scientist is investigating a real world scientific question. And what eco-justice pedagogy is, it is centered on the understanding relationship between community and also the natural environment. It is a philosophy to make the global more local and encourage decision making across the different groups and diverse stakeholders. And it is also to create a democratic learning environment and encourage participation and also the multiple stakeholders in the process of education. So we are also mapping the subject matter, which first is the science of climate change. So we are mapping, whenever we are designing a curriculum, we will map the whole concepts. So we kind of listed out the whole concepts and themes, that is the science of climate change. Another important area that we are mapping is climate change and concepts that are very specific to Kerala. Maybe the way we teach about climate change in the highland, midland, and the coastal areas need to be different. So these are, and more focusing on climate adaptation strategies at a community level. So this is the research that we are doing. This is started in October 2023, and we plan it till December 2026, which is analyzing the existing curriculum and looking at teacher professional development program and understanding the child community perspective, then developing curriculum in a collaborative mode and implementing it in a selected schools, collecting data and analyzing to understand the various aspects of curriculum implementation, transaction of the curriculum, and how the child understands the new curriculum that we are implementing in the classroom. Then based on this study, revising the curriculum and also participating in the teacher training program. We need to evaluate the curriculum at each stage to inform the research and better understanding of the requirements. So as I mentioned, this is a collaborative project between several stakeholders. Thank you.